Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be reacting to a video on the real story of what happened inside North Korea. We're going to see if it's as bad or as good as people say it is. Let's go.
In 2017, 24-year-old Koo Jung-hwa accomplished something many of the 26 million people in North Korea have only dreamed of. She sneaked across the border into China, taking her son with her. Her happiness was short-lived. She was soon in handcuffs, weeping, envisioning barbaric torture and her untimely death.
Yo, that's actually messed up, bro. They actually tied her up for leaving? Yo, we gotta do better, bro. That's actually messed up.
The question,
Look, not even gonna lie,
is what would make a mother so desperate to compel her to risk obscene punishment and execution of her and her son?
Damn. They're actually gonna try to execute the kid? Damn, what did the kid do, bro? Damn, that's actually messed up.
Who, by the way, was suffering from severe frostbite.
Damn.
This will now explain and tell you what happened to Koo Jung-hwa and her son later. To an outsider looking in, you could sometimes be forgiven for thinking that life in North Korea isn't all that bad. Children go to school, folks go ice skating on the weekend, they cheer at soccer matches and make snowmen in the winter. But when you peel back some layers of this mysterious rotten onion of a country, your eyes will tear with incomprehension and grief. North Korea is a country with many faces.
Is that Kim Jong-un?
For the outside visitors that experience it, they see a carefully orchestrated version of the country, not the grim reality.
Damn.
They hear nothing about how people working in Pyongyang's cushy government jobs barely get by.
$4 a month? $4 a month? Are we kidding me? $4. Bro, we are not in regular show, bro. $4 a month. That's less than what most people make in an hour. Damn, $4. That's actually crazy. Damn, $4 a month. What's the point of even working? Damn, that's crazy. What are they going to even do with dollars? Because don't they have a different currency? So they just give them money for nothing. That's actually crazy.
On their $4 a month wage, or factory workers getting solitary dollars.
50 cents a month? That's like 8 times less. That's actually crazy. Damn. Damn. 50 cents a month? Yo, that's actually crazy.
Per month. Some get 50 cents. They certainly don't see the hungry masses out in the provinces who are at risk of starvation and freezing to death during North Korea's incredibly bleak winters. People who work on the...
Damn. They're actually really trying to farm when it's snowing, and they can't even... So they can't afford food, but they try to farm, but it's snowing. That's actually messed up, bro. North Korea, we gotta do better. Come on, bro. Come on, Kim.
Starvation and freezing to death during North Korea's incredibly bleak winters. People who work on the land of which only 20% is arable. These people are told daily they live in the best country in the world. First and foremost in the daily life of a North Korean is a large dose of propaganda. The enemy is always a threat, they're told, intent on wrecking the great life that they have. Japan, the United States of America, and the Republic of Korea all want them dead. This is a constant message in all media. The so-called eternal leaders of Korea are everywhere people look. Every day is a reminder that they should be grateful they have such a literally supreme guy in charge, a man from a family almost touched by gods. The people of North Korea start being fed propaganda from a very young age.
Dang, so even their own government is lying to them, bro. That's actually so evil. Why would the government lie to them? That's actually messed up. That's actually messed up. If they come here, the government doesn't lie to us. That's crazy.
All children should go to kindergarten and then to a primary school called People's School.
We do that.
Where they stay from 6 years to the age of 9. They study in a secondary school until they're 16 and then possibly go to a university. Some do, but most just join the military. All education is state-funded. If you can say something positive about North Korean education standards, it's that according to UNESCO, the country has a 98...
Damn! 98 to 100% of people can read and write. That's actually not even bad. Maybe we should go to school until we're 16 and then join the university or army. 90 to 100, that means... Okay, that's like everyone.
8 to 100% literacy rate. You kind of need that, though, when propaganda is being shoved down your throat all your life.
Oh, that's true.
Some lucky students might go on to study at the prestigious Kim Il-sung University, but only if they've excelled during their previous studies. Others go to one of the thousands of vocation schools, and many of those who excel in science or mathematics often end up at the University of National Defense, where one day they might find themselves becoming a leader in hypersonic missile technology. In 2021, a new part of the university was opened, a special department of
What the heck even is a hypersonic missile, bro? That's gotta be crazy. They're actually having students develop hypersonic missiles? Bro. Yo, we're actually falling behind.
Hypersonic missiles. This is what many students aspire to do. You might be wondering how this is all possible when North Korea conscripts its young into military service. It is true, at 17, men must begin 10 years military service.
They have to? And women only have to do 6 years? That's not even fair. Why do women get to do less? That's messed up.
Women may also serve, but only until they are 23. In both cases, there is a selection process, and the most academically gifted kids can ignore the military entirely, as can the kids of the elites who are born into high status. Something very important in North Korea is songbun. This is a status system in which certain acts gain people social credit. Good songbun means more choices are available to people. On the other hand, if someone's related to a defector, their score will likely be low and their options dire. North Korea states that all students must acquire the concept of a revolution and endless loyalty toward the party and the supreme leader. All education is based on the revolutionary ideal. Every day that a kid goes to elementary school, he's learning the idolization of the supreme leader. When he gets home, the TV shows him how he can be a good revolutionary. Regularly, the TV explains how to accrue better social credit. Not long ago, a woman was roundly chastised by the Korean media for saving her kid in a house fire and not saving the pictures of the leaders on her kitchen wall.
Dang, that's crazy. They actually got mad at her because she didn't save photos of Kim Jong-un and saved her kid. That's messed up. That's messed up. That's actually crazy. Wow. Wow.
North Korea media applauded the neighbor who ran into the house to save the pictures. That's how you get some good songbun. The state security department uses various surveillance systems to keep an eye on people. The secret police is everywhere. People never know if their neighbors will snitch on them.
Dang! Bro, even in North Korea, they be having snitches, bro. Come on, bro. We gotta do better. That's actually messed up.
Knowing who to trust creates an atmosphere of intense fear, which, as you'll see today, has wide-ranging negative effects on mental health. It was recently reported that over 200 executions happened throughout the country, with teenagers expected to watch in many...
What? 200 executions, bro. Are you serious? And teenagers have to... That's actually so... That's... Whoa. Wow. That is actually crazy. That's too... Damn. Damn.
Instances. Some teens were executed just for having a USB stick containing K-pop.
What? Teens were executed too? And for that? North Korea is crazy, bro. Damn. Yo, they are strict over there.
And South Korean soap operas. In one case, the kid was wheeled out into a stadium and shot 9 times as his school buddies watched from the seats. They were expected to clap, even though some kids were close to tears. Another report...
Yo, what? Yo, what the... What? What do we do? What?
Says someone had a slip of the tongue and criticized the government. Such cases do not reach Amnesty International. They happen behind closed doors. Like in medieval Europe, often the bodies are left to rot where they fall. A reminder to the public of what could happen to them. A defector named Ose Haik explained, they hanged people in crowded places like markets and left the bodies there for hours to instill fear among the people. Another...
Yo, how do people see that and, like, no matter how much propaganda, how do they not think that's messed up, bro? I don't understand. How do people, like, how good is the propaganda there to make you believe that that's, like, an okay life to live and that other places are worse? That's actually that's actually a curious thought. Put it in the comments below. Does it actually, do you think they actually, because why do people defect if all of them think it's good? That's strange. So some people, I guess some people fall for it. I guess people aren't just black and white or actually have complex emotions and can actually think through the propaganda, while some fall for it. And some to the level where they must defect and see through the social... Wow. That actually says a lot about people. That's crazy.
defector in the same report was just 7 years old. In painting class in South Korea, he surprised his teacher when he sketched a scene of a firing squad in the countryside killing locals in a field. This was his reality. So when we're talking about learning math in North Korea in school, it can sound normal, but we should not underestimate the distressing climate of fear these kids have to live through.
Nah, what kind of math are they doing, bro? What kind of... Dude, this is insane math. They actually must be really smart. They keep their backpacks on their chairs, too? This is crazy. Damn. They got, like, shapes and... They must be in geometry.
Although to many, this is what their normal day-to-day life is like. Things are made worse because being a good snitch might mean the difference between starving to death in the next famine or being sent to the capital to work in relative comfort. In 2019, a cadre on state-sponsored TV announced that new rewards were available for snitching on people for engaging in illegal activities. They were told people who want to get the rewards can file reports, and the government can then eliminate people filled with discontent. The reward was $6.
People really be snitching on their homies for $6. Wait, that's a month and a half of work, though. A month and a half of work to snitch on one of your homies? Damn. People in Korea are not loyal, bro. North Korea, sorry.
North Korea, selling things on the black market, such as foreign entertainment or goods, is one of the only ways to make money. According to a North Korean source, most people didn't want the reward money. That would upset the black economy. The source explained it did not work out well. The state can't even guarantee basic living conditions for the people, and people can't make their own living without breaking the...
Damn, people in North Korea really can't be... They're actually homeless, bro. That's actually insane. It's a good thing we never get to that level, bro. People not being able to feed themselves and stuff.
Law, so why would anyone want to report on anyone else? He said these crackdowns happen ever so often when the government feels like it's losing its grip on the populace. In 2015, there was a similar snitch scheme. A source said the security services is cracking down hard on asylum seekers and smugglers, and it has promised incredible rewards to anyone who points to defectors or smugglers. Poor farmers, he said, were tempted. In 2021...
Damn, the farmers that were trying to farm in the snow really snitched. But I guess they had it really hard.
When someone snitched, it was reported that a villager and a soldier were shot in a field for the crime of disturbing entertainment, what leader Kim Jong-un had recently called a vicious cancer, trying to destroy the North Korean way of life. In one case, a large crowd congregates at the town square, and a young man is dragged out, accused of being found with, wait for it, a movie and 75 songs from South Korea. This is daily life in North Korea.
Dang, they being executed for listening to music, bro. Dude, this is messed up.
A North Korean girl who escaped said she and her classmates were there when a kid was executed again for nothing but distributing entertainment. Like many North Koreans, she suffered from mental problems after seeing such savagery. She said, "The prisoner could hardly walk and had to be dragged out. I was so terrified that I could not dare to look at a soldier in uniform for 6 months afterward." It's not that North Koreans don't know anything about the West. They've been...
Wait, what? Really?
...buying bootleg DVDs for years now. North Korean TV has innocently featured the Rocky theme tune, and Minnie and Mickey Mouse have appeared now and again. In 2018, prior to peace talks with the US breaking down, even South Korean K-pop stars were invited to Pyongyang.
What?
Tim clapped after some of the songs and asked questions about the...
Wait, I'm so confused. So they executed people before for that, but now they let people... What?
...lyrics, which was surprising to say the least. But that was just him playing the part of the benevolent...
Oh, so he didn't actually feel like that. He was just trying to seem... Oh, okay, so it was all a stunt. Oh, I got you, Kim.
The good guy who now and again can relax. This comes straight out of a dictator's playbook.
Wow.
Every so often, they're supposed to show that they have mercy. Kim often pardons people from their death sentences, usually to great applause, just as happened in those bloody Roman arenas where the emperor spared a life because he thought it would get the populace on his side. When kids get older, they might go to university, but if they choose a...
Man, they even believe Kim Jong-un is the son, bro? What?
...humanities subject, it's still based on the ideology...
They couldn't even hide bro's double chin.
...of the party. The word for this ever-present ideology is Juche. For instance, some philosophy courses are philosophy of the Juche ideology, or Juche political economy. It's brainwashing. You can be sure they aren't learning about anarchy, skepticism, and even the wonders of liberal democracy. Capitalism is evil. say the men teaching them as they drive.
Alright. Alright, so I think we kind of get the point. North Korea is actually crazy, bro. They are crazy. I didn't know they were executing people like that. Children too, bro. Just for music and stuff like that. That's messed up. That's not cool. I don't. Why aren't we doing anything about this? We gotta save these people, bro. Like, these people, these are human beings suffering, dude. Doesn't matter. Like, we gotta help out, bro. North Korea ain't gonna do nothing, bro. Maybe, I guess it's because of the hypersonic missiles, but damn, this is just messed up. Man. Whew. Bro. We gotta do something. Write in the comments what we could do. Like the video, subscribe. We gotta stop this. This is nonsense, bro.